Why I won't run another startup. Lured by the lights of the startup industry, founders are the product in someone else's show. So I've made 5 new rules for myself, and here they are. Number 1, no more startup events. At a startup industry event, you're only going to meet startup industry people. They are not your customers. Only go to events packed full of potential customers in your industry. Number 2, no more startup competitions. Innovation competitions, pitching competitions, business plan competitions. Sometimes the prize is an investment in your company. The first prize, an investor. The second prize are 2 investors. If you're certain that you have the time to enter competitions, only enter the ones where you're giving out loads of free money and you know you can win. Don't be the product. Number 3, be aware of the warm glow of startup media. The startup industry press is so seductive. It's pretty and it says, "I love you." Being a startup, especially based in Africa, is great for media coverage, more especially if you win a startup award. You won't see a corresponding spike in sales or calls from investors. And for a young business running out of runway, sales are really all that matters. Don't chase coverage in the startup industry. Find your own industry's media outlets. They're harder to find and less sexy than the startup press, and only focus on them. Number 4, don't tell your customers you're a startup. Every office-bound exec wants to love a startup, like a pet. But no one wants to buy from a startup, especially big companies. Big companies want to buy from big, stable businesses, and the people need to feel you're a familiar name. At Paperwhite, we needed to book publishers to trust us with the most valuable IP. It's insane to think that they'd give it to a startup. Number 5, get real help. The startup industry appeals to a very real need for emotional, intellectual, and financial help. Find experienced confidants from an industry like yours. Their emotional support will mean more to you than 100 hollow prizes. Run a business, not a startup. You don't have the time. Is it that hard to put a mask on in order to look like a big business and not a startup? What do you think? Comment in the section down below. This is a story by Arthur Atwill.